This is the way the data is provided for the calendars. If you notice, there are 80 rows in this spreadsheet, and there are 50 of these spreadsheets provided, and that is the data for the 4,000 calendars in the job. The first sheet in the table is a master sheet, and that indicates for each calendar the color to be used inside of the template, what is to be used for the cover artwork, and what is the designer whose name is to appear on the outside cover. And then for each calendar inside of this book, there is a description of what is to be displayed on each date. So for January 1st, it's to show this image. In January 2nd, this image, all the way through February, through March, through April. So there's one of these tabs for each different book, each different calendar, and it indicates the image that's to be used for each day. So the FusionPro template will look up into this database, and it will, for each, as it's typesetting each calendar, it will look up to put on the image that's specified here, and look inside of this table then what image is to be set down for each day. This is the template that was used to create the calendars, and you see this is quite a long template. This has 62 pages in it. That's the total amount is going to be for each calendar, each different page. And most of it is static content that came from an InDesign file, which we just left. And then here it begins the description for each calendar month. And you see there's this magenta color here. This is a special color, and that will be replaced with the appropriate color that was selected for each different book. So this is left as this magenta color here, and then this is the heading for January. And you see there's a little marker that says it's January, and then there's a page here for the FusionPro content. And then there's another marker for the beginning of February and a page for the content there. Now I didn't need to make a body page in this template for each different page of the output, because there's a special feature inside of FusionPro here where I can specify that I am going to overflow from this page onto subsequent pages. And I've got a special overflow page that's been indicated, and that I'm just going to insert the number of pages as appropriate depending on how many days are within that month. And it uses an external data file system to look up into the data that we just looked at, and it will look up each day in the appropriate spreadsheet, find out what the image is, and insert that. And there's a rule here for each different month. So here's the July days rule, and if we take a look at that here, what this is doing is it is finding a repeatable component object right here, and whether it's a left page or a right page, I've created an object inside FusionPro that's a left and a right page, and it's looking up in the external data file. That's what XDF stands for here. There's an external data file, and it's finding the appropriate image for the day of the month that we are using here. And it's uppercasing the designer name and the title, and it's finding the image to insert here, and it's inserting it into the data. And it's looping through, depending on how many days are in the month, and inserts one of these repeatable component objects for each different day in the month. And that causes pages to be inserted inside the FusionPro template. At the end of the document here, these are the template pages for the left date and the right date page. I've got a place here for the title. I've got a place here for the image. And that's the logic inside of FusionPro that looks up into that data, figures out the appropriate image for each day of the month, inserts them into the appropriate frames here, and loops through, and it adds one of these for each different page of the month that's appropriate.